Hey everybody, Healthy Prepper here. So I had a thought, since I have so many canned goods, I thought to myself, if the apocalyptic pinch comes along or the SHTF situation happens, and I'm sitting here living off of my canned foods, I'm going to have a lot of excess tin cans and aluminum cans. So I thought of compiling a list of some alternative or unusual uses for cans um, in that particular scenario. So here they are. Hey everybody, Healthy Prepper here with a few unusual uses for preppers for the old tin can. Here are some ideas for you that you might find helpful. You can cut up the can itself into shrapnel and have a nice little collection of very sharp pieces that can be used in any SHTF or apocalyptic pinch scenario. You can put them in a container or some type of collection device and use them as you see fit. You can also make a crude shovel out of a tin can. You can cut it on its diagonal, and you've just made yourself two shovels actually, and just as so. Next, you can get a little bit more elaborate if you have a bunch of these, and you can make a makeshift wood oven / wood stove. And I'll show you my design here. Okay. It's very crude. I'm a horrible artist, but basically this is the ground, and you've got a three-sided cube with an opening for a fire pit in the center, and you're piling up your tin cans along either side, and they can be several rows deep. You support them by metal stakes on either side, and you run metal stakes across the top, and you run another row or two of cans across the top, and then you take some cans and you flatten them either with a sledgehammer or stomping them on your foot. You can flatten them this way, or you can flatten them this way, but the idea is to create a flat surface that you can layer across the top so that you have a stove on top. So that would be your front view. So there's that idea. And next we have a very crude water system, a filtration system that can be used using any kind of can. You can use a regular chicken soup can, or you can use a bigger can like a tomato juice can or a coffee can or something like that. But the idea is to create layers, and what you want to do is layer, you want to poke some holes into the bottom of the can, open the top of the can, clean the can out really well, put coffee filter inside, then layer it with a layer of charcoal and a layer of sand, and then a coffee filter, layer of charcoal, layer of sand, coffee filter, and you keep doing that as much as you can, and then you pour the water into the top and you let it drain out the bottom. And this is going to get rid of a lot of large particulate matter as well as some larger parasites. So that would be in a worst case scenario. You had nothing else, you always have this crude system that you could work with. Another idea is the old lantern. Light will obviously be an issue in an SHTF situation, so you can puncture some holes in this, put a tea light candle or a bigger candle inside. You can set them down. If you want to carry them around, you have to wrap something around it because this will get hot to carry. But you can also pierce a hole in either side of the top with a wire and hang these for lanterns all over the place if you choose to do so. So there's another alternative. Next would be target practice. We can't forget the good tin can for target practice. Although I would probably recommend hanging on to your ammo and only use it in a worst case scenario, and maybe practice with your slingshot or some type of retrievable bow and arrow / crossbow device to knock these off. The next thing would be, this is my favorite, the primitive alarm system, which is stringing a bunch of these together with some rope or string, making a perimeter around your property, throwing in some gravel, some nails, some rocks, something like that, so that if somebody walks by and hits the rope, and it's going to make these things make a lot of noise, so you're at least going to have a warning system in place. You might want to put these at different levels too, some low, some medium, some high, depending on what's going on in your area. Another easy thing to do is a seed starter for your prepper's garden. You can just fill this up with a little bit of dirt, put a seed in there, and put a hole in the bottom, and away you go. Another thing is to look at all parts of the can, and remember that there's usually a paper label, and you can use that paper label for fire starting. So you can crumple that up and use that as fire starter. And you can even make a mini stove out of one can. And basically, you would have an opening here. You maybe crumple up your label and put it inside. You're going to maybe make a few openings here so some of the smoke can get out, but then you can constantly feed this little fire on the inside, and this will give you a nice little cooking surface on top. Let's say you wanted to heat up another can on top, or you want to make a warm cup of coffee or some hot chocolate or something like that. It's a very quick and easy way to make a little mini stove. It'll also protect it from getting blown out from the wind, which is a big issue when you're outside. Another thing to remember is the lid. Once you pop off the lid, you've got this nice circular yet and very sharp edged instrument. Now if you take that lid and you fold it in half, you bring the two sharp edges together, and then you've got the smooth edge on this side, you've actually made yourself a very nice cutting instrument, a utility knife of sorts, very sharp on the bottom, yet smooth and easy to hold on top, and you can use that to cut or trim or do whatever you have to in the SHTF scenario. And about the old classics, which we just want to remind you about, which are definitely out there. You can use this as its own pot. You could actually cook the soup in here. You can eat right out of the can. You can clean this up and use it as a glass or a cup or even a ladle. So there you go, folks. Those are my prepping ideas for the old tin can. Take care, everyone, and I would absolutely love to hear if you have any ideas that preppers might be able to use for the old tin can. We're probably going to have a lot of these, everybody, and I think they're fascinating little objects and can be used for so many different things. So please, 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 if you have ideas, share them. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure others would too. Thanks, and happy and healthy prepping, everybody.